AFTERBUZZers, you're here for our Mistresses recap, Season 4, Episode 2, Mistaken Identity. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's so creepy, and this isn't a creepy show at all.
It is, and I love it. Hey, AFTERBUZZers, I'm your host, Francesca, with the lovely Sterling to my left.
Hey guys, I'm Sterling Cates. You can find me at Sterling Cates on Twitter and Instagram. I'm happy to be back.
I know,
I missed last week.
But
I watched, and it was very good.
Good, perfect. And now you're here, and April and Allison will be back with us next week. But yeah, we're excited you're here. This episode's called Mistaken Identity. This episode was kind of like up in the air for me.
Yeah, there was a lot going on that I wasn't really that into, to be honest with you.
It was.
I'll get into.
Meh. Who should we jump into?
It all kind of like ended well.
Yes, it did.
Because I was like, I don't know where these are gonna go, but by the end, it was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it wrapped up like a nice little present.
It did.
For next week.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Let's see. Let's start with April. So last episode we saw that she and Mark were kind of at odds with each other slightly because they both kind of want to do their own thing, which means there's no one really making the bread.
Right.
They both want to do their things creatively.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that weird divide where they absolutely should both do whatever they want to do creatively and what they want to do with their careers. I don't think it should have to be one or the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I definitely don't think that April should have to give up her dream.
Right.
Because everything's okay right now. If that's something that she wants to do, she should absolutely pursue it. But I think that the problem with their relationship right now anyway, even though, I mean, I love Mark, he's super cute, obviously.
Super cute.
But I think that she's kind of putting it as it does have to be one or the other. You know what I mean? And that lady definitely didn't help when she gave her the whole spiel about not being good enough. It's kind of like, well, that's not what she needed to hear, obviously.
No, not at all.
But I also think that she kind of puts herself up against Mark too much. Like, it's like too competitive, whereas they should just be supportive of each other and want the other to succeed. It's not, oh, you got in the band, goody. Like, oh, good for you. Like, I didn't get what I wanted. It's like, you can be happy for him and still sad for yourself at the same time, but you don't have to make him feel bad about succeeding.
Right. That's like,
or vice versa. It doesn't have to be one or the other. That's like that's what I was frustrated with this episode.
That's what you have in relationships of any kind, friendships, loving relationships, mother-daughter, and she's kind of fighting like this with her daughter as well as Mark. Instead of just like being happy, everything's very like she wants to control everything.
Totally.
She wants to, it's like a competition.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. They should all be very supportive because all they have is themselves, you know?
I think that's so much easier said than done.
Well,
I mean, for us, it's like, why isn't she supportive? Blah, blah, blah. But I mean, we've all been in situations where we see people we're close with doing better than us or whatever. And it's kind of like, I don't want to be in that same situation. So it's a little selfish. But when you are like a partner with someone, you need to obviously overcome that competitiveness because they're not even wanting to do the same thing. I know, right? Like he can be, and it's better for everyone if he's being successful. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
So like so in this episode, she wants to do this. It's a fellowship, right?
Yeah. So it's this program where you'd have to be in it for 8 hours a day. It really is a huge chunk. It's like a full-time job essentially. But it's just to kind of take that next level. I mean, who knows if it's like bullshit or not, honestly. Like there's so much stuff like that in LA. Like you need to do this in order to become famous, and you need to do this and pay all this money, blah, blah, blah. But when really she could probably figure out. Like it's not this or nothing.
Right,
like, you know what I mean? This isn't the only way to become a painter.
Right, and she kind of puts that focus on it. She freaks out because the deadline's 2 days away, and you know she's making her little paintings, and she's making every excuse not to really focus on herself and do it. And even I think didn't Mike kind of said that at the end when he's like, you're putting the blame on me, right? You know, and she gets frustrated. Mark, unfortunately, of course, has to call at the worst time to do something for him. Like for his dream, right? So they're both trying to do their dreams together and handle all the other responsibilities. And she gets frustrated and throws her her painting, or she rips her painting, or whatever she does with her painting.
Yeah.
But we've seen the last episode, and even in the end of the last season, Lucy's very kind of argumentative. She's being more of like a typical teenager.
She's a teenager, yeah, totally. I mean, she changed her boyfriend's name in her phone.
I'm wondering if April knows, because she kept saying Peyton like that.
I don't think she does.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think she does. I think she's still like
oblivious.
I think she seemed kind of like happy that she actually knows who she's talking to.
Oh, okay.
Like she seemed like, I'm informed and I'm a cool mom and things are on fleek and blah blah. You know what I mean? So I think she would have been I don't think she would have been as cool with it as she was if she knew.
Right.
Because we all know April, and that's not how she works.
That's not how she works.
Yeah. She is very wants to control everything that's going on.
Right. And I think that's why it was kind of a nice little twist that they put that Lucy's the one that kind of gives her the advice when she's painting.
Yeah.
She's like, remember when you were really annoying and told me to not try to fit in at the new school? You said be yourself, so be yourself.
Yeah. And it's solid advice. Mm-hmm. The last thing I'll say about April kind of just like giving up her dreams is at the end when Mark was saying, my fingers bled after I had to work so hard for my dream, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't happen overnight, obviously. But when she said that she's not willing to bleed for it or whatever, that kind of said to me, well, then is this something that you're passionate about?
Right.
Because if that is something, when you have a dream or something like that, you would, this little hiccup wouldn't be enough to, completely deter you from following it. And the fact that she's not willing to work for it, then she doesn't deserve it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She, literally packed everything up to
it's
call it quits.
Okay, this fellowship didn't work out. I'm never going to paint again.
Ever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I don't feel bad about it. But I don't feel bad for you because you're not even willing to try.
Right.
April's usually one of my favorite characters. In this episode, I was just like, come on, April, get a little backbone or something.
I'm wondering if it's there's other issues that are going on still. Because she has Mark and she has Lucy, but I'm wondering if she's still feeling kind of lost. Because I know that the only thing, if there's something that's your dream and you're not doing it, the only person holding you back is yourself. So maybe she's dealing with some tough stuff. I
definitely agree with you. I think that she's lost by some means, because the point of the assignment was to just show us who you are,
right? And
to reflect who you are in your painting or whatever. And the fact that she wasn't able to do that, which I wouldn't be able to do that, that's a lot of pressure.
I was just gonna say, Sterling, what would you paint?
No, I don't even know.
You?
I don't know, a dog and sunset in the back. I don't know. You know what I mean?
And the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, right. Which clearly doesn't define my whole life. But so I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on it, especially when you're questioning what you want to do with your life. Mm-hmm. Are you headed in the right direction? I mean, we would be lying if we said we hadn't been there. I'm in a position like that now. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone really does have it figured out, and she's kind of in that slump right now, which I think we can all relate to. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not painting, but maybe it's something else, and I think that's kind of what she's exploring right now.
I mean, she does a great job with her shop. It's such a unique shop. It has it has the furniture and has a little cafe, and it has little snacks. I don't really see many shops like that. So she has her little thing. So.
It's super cute, but we all want change every now and then. I mean, we're on our 4th season of her having a shop, so maybe
it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Hopefully she figures something out, but hopefully she takes out her painting again and stops being,
unless she finds what she really is passionate about. I mean, maybe this is just a stepping stone on her journey of figuring out what it is. Maybe it's not painting. Maybe it's singing.
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Who knows?
I feel so she, April's dealing with figuring out what's going on. And I think all the girls kind of are figuring out what's going on in this episode. For example, Karen, she meets Barbara in the last episode, and Barbara's very pushy and she knows what she wants to do, and that's her job.
Typical agent type stuff. Yeah, totally.
She's making it happen. So she puts out this article on her in the newspaper, and it calls her a sexpert. And so suddenly she's getting kicked out of her baby's mommy class. because she's taken all the question thunder, you know, and she's really dealing with herself wondering, well, am I this? Like, I went to school to be a doctor, I have my PhD, but now I'm just like a sexpert, and I'm gonna and I'm just gonna go to these sex shops and talk about like,
yeah,
what
it
am
does
I?
like kind of feel weird for sure. Like to it's a change again, and I think that what she was struggling with most, not that she isn't a sexpert, because she is. She's always giving advice about sexual things, but she's
always in
also
crazy things.
But she also has a medical background, so it's just kind of like. I mean, I liked when the Manny brought up that you don't have to pick one or the other. And that's kind of the same with what's going on with April and everyone else. And also, a lot of the characters in the show were caring too much about what other people think, like how they appear, how they view their individual lives. Like, she was like, oh, well, how does it look that I'm giving medical advice in a sex shop? And I was like, well, who really cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the hardest thing, obviously with the characters on the show and in real life, especially in this world where social media and instant gratifications all around, you makes you subconsciously more aware of everyone and how everyone perceives you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's on the newspaper, which is obviously a more primitive form, quote unquote, of technology. So yeah,
I love how everyone kept like bringing up how good she looked in that picture, and she had long hair.
Awkward.
You know what I mean? I was like, so are they saying you should grow your hair back, or?
Because I mean, like we talked about this last week. Like her dresses are still impeccable. Like her style is still awesome. The hair is just such a huge change, I think, for her character.
Yeah.
And she looks more like a mom,
Right?
rather than a sexpert. But hey, that's where babies get made, right?
She's still, yeah, that's right. She's still got it going on, so whatever.
Yeah, but
I just thought it was interesting that the newspaper was long hair.
it's like a backhanded comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you look so good in this picture. It's like, well, I made a huge change since then. So
Thanks a lot. So the Manny, I can't even remember his name on the show except calling him a Manny.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. But Manny, like you said, talks to her and says, why do you have to choose? Like, you should go to the sex shop and do it. And so she does.
Yeah. And I love how all these people actually read her book. It was a very fast turnaround for a reading book. I don't know how long it takes you to read a book or how long this book is.
Yeah, it must have been an easy read.
Yeah, but I mean, Kate just got here like yesterday, and she's like, yeah, I read your book today. It's like, on all your downtime between finding a Latino. You know what I mean?
So we were saying last week, like, who's going to be, like, the fourth girl this season? And I guess it kind of looks like it's going to be Kate.
Looks like it.
So, I guess let's go into them. So, Joss, the opening scene, we see Joss is kickboxing again. And again, she's doing it so she's hurting herself, which is, like, her way of dealing with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like almost she wants to see if she can take it. You know what I mean? Just in case, like, the worst case scenario pops up, she, like, wants to actually be prepared for it. That's kind of what I was thinking. Because, I mean, I sure as hell wouldn't go with the most advanced person in the class just for, like, fun.
Right?
So,
I want extra bruises today.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of like, I don't know what her exact motivation behind that is. Yeah. Other than, like, wanting to be prepared or, like, getting her strength back or feeling strong. You know what I mean? Because she's in a very vulnerable position.
Right.
Where she might be feeling really weak. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And, I mean, she's going hard in the class. So, she's definitely using it for something.
Also, I didn't realize in those classes you, like, legit beat people up. Like, I thought that you just, like, learn the technique and, like, use the pads and stuff.
And, like, the bag, the punching bag.
Yeah,
and everything.
totally. And they're, like, strate up kicking each other's asses. So,
I don't know.
I don't want to take that class. I was like, do not sign me up for that. That does not look fun.
I'll just go running.
Yeah.
So Harry sees her bruises, and he's a little concerned. I mean, last episode they were all concerned, kind of, because she kept telling everyone, I'm fine, I'm fine. But the bigger surprise really is that, you know, they're about to get hot and heavy, and ding dong, Kate.
Of course.
Kate arrives. And she's surprise, surprise, she comes because she says that her and her fiance have decided to have a fling before they tie the knot. And that's, right, she wants to find that nice Latino and, you know, do her thing. And I thought this was such a weird storyline.
It was really weird. And you know how usually you can, like, tell kind of where it's headed or, like, what's happening here? But she, like, legit was just like, no, I, like, just want to have a one-night stand, because she was so adamant about it being because she hasn't been with anyone else.
Right.
Because she just wants to make sure that there's, you know, nothing else out there for her, blah, blah. My mind wasn't even going in the direction that, like, that Brian had already cheated for some reason.
At first, I was like, that's just weird.
It's weird, yes.
And then my second thought was... What I actually thought was that he actually left her.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah. So then it does make sense that we find out he has already cheated, because it was like it was such an extreme, like, want to do, and I didn't really see, it was just out of the...
It was out of the blue. It felt super random, and we even looked at each other and we were like, we don't really like this.
Yeah, like,
this storyline.
Does this happen in real life?
Like, from when she first brought it up outside of the shop. And she made it seem like a dire need that she needed to just hook up with someone.
I mean, she took down the street after.
She really did. She really did. So it was very weird, but I did appreciate how it all wrapped up at the end. And the fact that, you know, it was Brian's idea that she come to the States and, you know, kind of get even with each other.
I thought he didn't even know.
No, he knew. So he was like, you need to go do what you need to do.
Oh, okay.
And then come back and we'll be even and it'll work out. And it seems like she kind of, like, convinced herself that that was the right thing to do. But obviously when she was put in that situation, she was like, this isn't me. This isn't right.
Right.
Obviously, I guess Karen's book helped.
Yeah, because she read it in, like, 5 hours.
Yeah.
She's a fast reader. Maybe in Australia they have speed reading classes ingrained in their schooling. But yeah, it was just weird. And she was like, don't tell Harry. And of course, Joss is going to tell Harry, because...
I would have been mad if Joss didn't tell Harry.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, you guys finally are, like, on the right track. We're getting married. We're doing the right thing. Like, if Joss had helped her and not told Harry, I would have been very upset.
Right.
And that would have been a huge, like, roadblock in their relationship.
And that's exactly what this whole situation ended up being for a moment.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he said, don't do it. And they went to the club and they weren't answering their phone, and he got mad and he came, you know, to try to rescue them. And yeah, it was a little, I mean, you turn to look at me and you're like, oh no, they're going to try, this is happening to interfere with Joss and Harry again.
Yeah, we're going to keep going in circles with this. But I didn't like it then. But then at the dinner party, when it kind of brought up a lot of these issues that were there anyway, like people thinking it's weird that she's marrying her ex-brother-in-law.
I mean, because it is.
Because that is weird. That's definitely a valid thing to think it's weird. And especially for people like his family who are removed from it and aren't around them every day, I'm sure they were like, you know, got the email and were like, what?
Well, I mean, didn't Joss say you haven't even
told them? Yeah, so they doesn't even know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so that's just, like, weird in general. But the fact that it, like, brought up these things for them to kind of iron out before they can get married, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And her speech was obviously very heartfelt and exactly what needed to happen. So, in that sense, I was happy that this weird storyline happened.
Right. It kind of forced them to talk about things that they were obviously being awkwardly quiet about. I mean, that dinner was the most awkward thing ever.
Well, and that goes back to appearances, because I feel like when they're together, they don't think it's weird because they love each other and they're in love with each other. And then all of a sudden it gets in Joss's ear that, oh, other people think this is weird.
Right.
So should we think it's weird?
Right.
You know what I mean? So she was kind of struggling with that. And so to get it all out there in front of all of their close friends, just like, hey, listen, we know you think it's weird, but I love you, and I'm going to marry this guy anyway, regardless. So,
Snap.
You know, sorry, not sorry.
Right? And I think everyone appreciated it, too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how tough is it? She sat down with Karen and April, and they're like, well, yeah, it is weird, but we see you every day, so we understand. But for her to, stand by her decision, I think that makes it easier for everyone in general.
Yeah. And if she were to have, whatever, call it off or whatever because other people think it's weird, then it's like, okay, you really don't love this dude. Like, this is all fake and I'm not into it.
Exactly. Or you have a problem with yourself that you're going to let people dictate your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a tough situation, but if Savvy's really not in the picture, then, I mean, it is what it is. And we've been rooting for them for like a season.
So, oh my gosh. So
I'm happy.
I don't want her to go anywhere. and for it to wrap up with Kate saying, I want to love like you guys have, that's like the ultimate compliment. Mm-hmm. Even though it's weird and even though like you guys probably shouldn't be together, but you just like undoubtedly love each other.
Right.
And everyone can see that. And that's what, people are aspiring to. So they're obviously doing something right.
They are. Yeah, that is the ultimate compliment. For sure.
Totally.
Being a couple.
But I swear to God, if they do one more
I know.
storyline of them.
Where they're like in trouble.
Maybe on the path to breaking up, I'm going to boycott or something. I don't know.
We're going to cancel the after show.
It's just been too many. Like, I mean, I will give it to them. They can overcome obstacles like no other couple that I know.
Their love is very strong.
It is. But it's just like too much sometimes with the maybe breaking up, not breaking up. We're together. We're engaged. Getting married.
Right. Yeah. it gets old.
Yeah.
It would keep getting old if it kept going like that.
So we'll see where it goes now that his sister's in the equation, because I feel like that kind of.
Especially if she's going to be staying.
Yeah.
With them in the house, which I feel like she's.
Do you think she is? Well, at least until she gets on her feet or whatever.
I feel like that was kind of like, hey guys, I'm staying with you. Hello.
I'm going to stay here in Los Angeles and find my dream man. I was like, good luck. I've been here for several years now.
And no luck.
And so it doesn't
I'm
really
with you
happen
on that
way.
Mm-hmm.
This city is not one for dating.
No, we're not going to talk about that. There was a couple other I think random things I wanted to talk about. Let me see. I thought it was, so Harry sits down to talk with Jonathan about his new restaurant that he wants, and I kind of missed, what was their meeting supposed to be about?
So
just to talk?
Dude is just basically like a venture capitalist type. He basically just wants to be partners with Harry's for his restaurant, which is kind of obviously Harry's baby. And if he gets into a partnership with this dude, he's obviously going to have a lot of control if he's like funding it and all this stuff. But he's kind of making it seem like, oh, you know what? You are just going to be able to do whatever you want with it. I'm just going to give you all the money for it.
Yeah.
But really, when you're holding that over someone's head when you're actually in business and the contracts are signed and all that stuff, like, I don't see that going well. Yeah. And he's sending him the care package with all of this nice fancy stuff. Yeah. It's just kind of like, I don't see that ending well. Yeah. Because even Mark was like, this dude is a douche. Like, he's really slimy, not a good person to do business with. And if Mark is saying this, of all people, like, if he realizes that, then, I mean, I feel like he should probably listen.
I think so, too. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we'll get into more of that in future episodes, because there really wasn't too much into it other than kind of like introducing, like, hey, this guy is interested in investing. Introducing
the little storyline. And another thing relating to that is what I thought was interesting, because they pressed it a couple times, so I'm curious to see where this is going to go, is Mark saying, hey, I want to play in your restaurant, and, like, we could piggyback off each other, so, like, I could get the gig more because I have a place, and then you could have me. Like, I don't know, it was kind of weird that Mark was stressing that, because he brought it up at least twice.
Yeah, but Harry, like, wasn't into it. I guess he just doesn't want live music at his place, or at least from Mark's band or whatever.
Right. I think for me, what I would think, it'd be, you don't want to promise something to like a friend, because that's when it gets complicated, when you mix business with friends sometimes. But I don't know. I'm curious to see where they're going with that.
The only thing I got from it, which could be completely wrong, was just that Mark is in this band. He's super excited, wanting to book gigs, like wanting to get out there. Obviously, Harry has a name behind him now. Like, he's visible in the public eye because from the show and, being a celebrity chef at this point. You know, and for your band to perform at this celebrity chef's restaurant, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. So I think it's like, he's just excited.
He's just excited.
Yeah, but obviously Harry's like, probably not going to have your band at my nice restaurant, so.
Nope.
Yeah.
Were there any other little thingies?
I
don't think so.
Mm-mm.
It was like
Nothing big.
Yeah, no, it was yeah. I'm kind of excited to have Kate coming because it might beef up more like storylines. I don't know. Should we just get into predictions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Is that new?
AfterBuzz TV.
That's so funny.
Spoiler alert, I have no idea what's going to happen next.
Yeah, these actually aren't spoilers because we have no idea.
No idea.
And if we're right, then, you know, we're just really smart.
Right? You know, someone actually asked me if we knew if Alyssa Milano was going to be coming back. And I feel like I might have seen something.
I don't know. But if they are filming in LA again, I could see why. And they are kind of like bringing her back up, sort of.
Yeah. I
don't know
really
if that's
fast.
confirmed or not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to say either way. But
Right. I haven't heard any, obviously, confirmations, but someone said something, and I wanted to see if you...
Yeah,
you
I'm
heard
not
anything.
sure. Didn't April say something last week about she saw something about her coming back? Or was that Ed Quinn? It might have been Ed.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I just see something that says season 4 spoilers. Don't expect Alyssa Milano appearance. So, okay, probably not.
I feel like that would be weird for her to come back, especially after that like big hoorah about her leaving and then her not wanting to go to Canada to film. It's kind of
Right.
like, okay, you kind of like ditched us, so maybe you shouldn't come back.
But it would definitely make for a good storyline if she came in right before they got married and, you know, mix it up. But
Okay, Francesca, we talked about this. We do not want another roadblock for Harry and Doug.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
We literally
I'm sorry.
just went over this.
Okay, well, moving on from that.
It's super awkward. I can't even imagine. Oh God, I like can't even talk about that. Okay, anyways, continue.
So, what do we think April is gonna pick up something new, or she's just being emo right now?
I'm nervous that she's not going to be able to handle Mark having all the success
Ooh.
and her still being lost. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I feel like she's going to come to this point where she's like, okay, I need to figure my stuff out before I can like be supportive of you in the way that you need me to.
Right.
Which makes sense, absolutely. But also I feel like she's going to have to figure out that Lucy's lying to her about having
Yes.
a boyfriend and that really all of these things are so out of her control. But I don't think she should be weird about Lucy having a boyfriend. She's a teenager, just like let her do her thing, but whatever.
Because you'd rather your daughter or son or whatever your child to be open about it.
Yeah.
As long as they're not, you know, doing something too crazy. But I mean, if you have that dialogue open, then they're going to be less likely, I would think,
Yeah.
to.
But I mean,
do
Lucy's
stuff.
relationship seems super innocent. Well, at least from what they showed. I mean,
Right.
they just showed up and then like
Held
held
hands.
hands. Yeah, it's like, you know,
So cute.
yeah. But I don't know what's going to happen with her. I mean, I just hope that she finds what it is that she's looking for with feeling fulfilled. Because
Pizza.
obviously she's struggling with that.
She just needs pizza.
Pizza.
That's it.
What? Should we call ABC and tell them? Just introduce pizza storyline and then she'll be good.
She'll be great.
Yeah.
So Karen obviously is gonna be hooking up with her Manny. No one saw that one coming.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, that's Jerry O'Connell has to be there for something. He actually just did an interview. I'm trying to remember who it was with, but he did an interview about how he was like, it's so weird because I'm the only one on this whole cast that actually has kids. And he was like,
Oh,
so
really?
he was like, so everyone was like coming to me for advice for being a parent, like blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, I found that weird because none of the women had kids. Like, he said that, and I was just like, well, why did the other women have to have kids? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like...
Like, why do yeah.
It was interesting to learn that he's the only parent on
That
the
is
cast and crew.
really interesting.
Because he has twin girls with with Rebecca Romijn, or however you say her last name is. Yeah, John Stamos is ex. I know, like, weirdly a lot about their personal lives. I don't really know why. But he was just like, yeah, it was weird that all the women were coming to me asking for advice. And then he also said that he would never hire a Manny he was like, I would never let Rebecca hire a Manny.
Did he say why?
And he was just like, I just think it's weird, blah, blah. And maybe he's basing what he knows about Manny's off of his character.
I know, 'cause
so, like, maybe he wouldn't want them around. And I was like, so why do all these famous guys get to have hot nannies?
Right? So unfair.
Yeah, I was like, this is such a double standard that I'm not here for. Like, let the mom have a little eye candy if the men get one all the time.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's neither here nor not a protection at all.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a little fun fact about Jerry O'Connell.
I did not know that no one on the cast had kids. That's such a weird thing.
Yeah. I guess what he was saying. It's weird.
Gives me hope.
He was like, because that never used to be me.
Right.
Because he never used to be the kid person until he had kids, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what's going to, I mean, like, are they just going to keep hooking up? I don't really see it going into like a super romantic. I feel like Ed Quinn's got to come back and like mix things up. Because I want him to be with Karen.
Because he's the daddy.
Yeah. But also because they had such a like crazy connection.
They did.
That was, undeniable. So
maybe the time that he's away in the Congo or where, I forgot where he said they were, where did he say he was last week? But we'll give him, time to deal and process with everything and that he can come back.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that's really much. That's really all I got.
That's it, guys. That's all, folks. Yeah, so I guess we'll see a lot more Manny stuff, it looks like, on the next episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Is he set for the whole season, or is he just like
so.
episodes? Okay.
But we'll have to check and get back to you guys. All right, Sterling, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Cates.
And you can find me Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA, and we'll see you next week with the whole cast.
Woohoo! Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.